is we're going to have you spend some time making plans on some things that you're going to do at Teens Conference, all right? So what I want you to do the first little bit is I want you to just go around the group, your small group, and I would like for you to share, maybe you'll do it in a smaller group, you wouldn't do it in a large group, just share some things that you are thinking about trying that will make sure that your role as a team leader is a successful and effective one. And I want you just to write down as many ideas as you can on the back of your paper, all right? Just some things that allow you to be a great leader. I'm going to give you about 2 or 3 minutes, and then when I call on you again, we'll go to the next question, all right? Ready, set, go. All right, good. I'm hearing kind of conversation die down just a little bit, and I heard some great ideas. We'll talk about them all individually in just a minute. The second thing that I want to ask you to try and work through is I want you to be creative for me and ask the group to come up with a purpose for this phrase, all right? And I don't know, I've got my own ideas what I think it ought to be, but I'm always trying to get new ideas for this specific strategy. But I want you to call this, just write down the words, the empty chair, okay? And I want you to talk for the next 2 or 3 minutes on what that could represent in your team, all right? The empty chair. Ready, set, go. All right, good. Has everybody got some good ideas for that one? I'm going to share those ideas with all of our youth pastors with the BCOQ because we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm so glad that you guys are writing down answers for that one. The next thing that I want you to write down is, or maybe take some time quickly. Did anybody bring your Bibles? Does every group have a Bible with you? All right, good. Good. What I want you to do for the next 5 minutes is, I want you to try to identify a team verse for you. But first, let me read to you the themed verse around this particular Teens Conference coming up. The specific verses that are surrounding this team conference coming up is James 1, 22 through 25. So don't take this one as your team's verse. But this is a team conference one, and it's James 1, 22 through 25. Can I read it to you real quick? It goes like this. And remember, it is a message to obey, not just to listen to. If you don't obey, you are only fooling yourself. For if you just listen and don't obey, it is like looking at your face in a mirror but doing nothing to improve your appearance. You see yourself, walk away, and forget what you look like. But if you keep looking steadily into God's perfect law, the law that sets you free, and if you do what it says and don't forget what you heard, then God will bless you for doing it. All right, so that's the Bible verse for this particular Teens Conference coming up. And so don't take that one as your team's verse, but I want you to come up with maybe some suggested team's verses. Go ahead and do that now. Ready, set, go. Okay. Just 1 more minute on the verse. Go ahead, keep going. Okay. Now you can keep looking. You can keep looking for those as the afternoon goes on. Here's the last one that I want you to talk about. In your group, I want you to discuss the following. There was a guy named Stephen Covey who wrote the book, 7 Habits for Highly Effective People. And Covey wrote this particular element of that book was called Begin with the End in Mind. You don't have to write that down. Begin with the end in mind. So what I want you to discuss in your small group right now is, what is the one thing that you want to say to your group at the beginning of the conference when you gather them for the first time that you want them to walk away with? What is the takeaway that you want them to have? Because if you talk about it at the beginning, then you can ensure as the weekend goes along that you're focusing on what it is that you want them to remember about the conference. So what I want you to talk about in your group real quick is, go ahead and figure out what it is that you want to say in that first 10 minutes. Guys, if we get one thing out of this weekend, I want you to walk away with, and Janet, remind me one more time the theme. It is what? The other side. All right? So you can keep that in mind as you're thinking about the one thing that you want them to remember. So ready, set, go. What is it you want them to take home? Go. All right, good. Let's run through these real quick because I want to hear your ideas. We're going to take a little break right after we share this. So let's jump into this.